Thank you very much. As Chris mentioned, our goal is to create value, add value. I think the one most exciting thing that Chris talked about was coming out of the strategic plan, our vision to establish Florida as the #1 vacation to travel destination in the world. And that's an aggressive challenge. And we're doing so in an amazingly competitive market. The Visit Florida's budget, our allocation this year, $35.5 million from the state, represents less than 5% of what all 50 states are spending, their state destination marketing organizations, on tourism marketing. So our marketplace is incredibly competitive. Last year, over all the 50 state destination marketing organizations spent over $861 million in advertising. And if you add on top of that what all of the individual CVBs that Robert represents, individual resorts, attractions, cruise lines, and more often how much more competitive international tourism destinations are becoming, you find that our share of the marketing voice is a very, very small share, and it's a very, very highly competitive place. There are there's a lot of places where the millions and millions and millions of Americans that are still traveling and people worldwide that are still traveling can choose to go to take to spend their hard-earned money and their precious time on vacation. So it's a very, very competitive marketplace, and I wanted to use that because we're competing in a very competitive marketplace, and we're very, very fortunate. As Chris mentioned, even with this very difficult downturn in the economy, Florida was able to attract 82.5 million visitors last year. And that's the equivalent of like 1.25 million visitors here on any given day. So we have an amazing product, and we have a very, very, very powerful brand. It's the Sunshine State. I can't take credit for it. It's been around. The state of Florida has had the Sunshine State on our license plate since 1949, and people have been driving around the country, and people from all around the world can see the Sunshine State. They hear the Sunshine State, and they think warm, sunny vacation. And so we have a very, very powerful brand, and it's a great asset to have, as well as our incredible product. But like I said, with such a small share of the voice out there, it's imperative that we get our messages out and make sure that they're heard. I'd like to start with a television commercial that is the cornerstone of our Sunshine campaign. This is a general market advertising that, along with our broadcast commercials, has been viewed by over 1.2 billion impressions this year.
I'm feeling fine whenever you shine. Give me your light, make it alright. I wish you were here to shine.
Yeah, that's kind of the foundation of the commercials, and the television advertising is very, very important. It's the most visible. It's kind of the most dynamic. That's how we've captured the energy, the personality, and the personal experience that the Sunshine State Vacation brings to our individual, the folks that we're trying to talk to. I think it's very, very important to know that the advertising is just one small piece of all of the marketing efforts that we do, and quite frankly, the average consumer is exposed to over 5,000 advertising messages every day. So we can't just do advertising or just do television. It has to be a very integrated effort, totally aligned with advertising, public relations, promotions, sales efforts, new product development efforts. And while I'm not going to show a ton of print stuff, well, we will focus on the video things, but I've provided a book here that has a bunch of our print advertisements and a lot of the co-op programs that we can talk about a little bit later. So it's really not just the television advertising. It's a matter of delivering the right message to the right people at the right time in the right medium in a way that's going to compel them to act and make that hard decision to separate themselves from their very hard-earned money and their precious time. And that's really the ultimate goal of all of our dedicated marketing efforts. You will notice on the television spot that the call to action, the singular call to action on advertising is visitflorida.com. This is a new website that launched early last year. It's the single highest visited website of any state destination marketing organization in the country. It recently won the Gold Award, the highest award they were giving at the Hotel and Sales Marketing Association International in New York. It's a very dynamic site, and the goal of this site is to be the trusted source for consumers when they're looking for vacation and travel information about Florida. We'll generate nearly about 500,000 unique visitors will come to this site every single month. They're downloading videos, they're uploading their own photos of their vacations, they're listening to the folks on the far right are our 10 experts that talk about our vacation product because it is so broad. So it's the #1 most visited destination marketing website. It's our call to action, and it's critical that this piece continues to be invested in for one simple reason. Our website is the only time that we know with absolute certainty that the folks that are looking at our message, reading our message, and thinking about us have made a conscientious decision to do so. They've chosen to come to us. We haven't thrown advertising in front of them. Visit Florida concentrates our marketing efforts on three different target audiences. The in-state drive market, and it used to be in-state marketing and out-of-state marketing, but if you think about the geographic nature of Florida, there's people up in Pensacola where in-state advertising might not necessarily be as important. So we're trying to broaden the range of what we're doing to target the folks that are taking those in-state and drive market vacations. Our out-of-state markets, which is really everybody, we had visitors from 158 countries last year to the state of Florida, and from every state in the United States, and then obviously the international markets. And you'll notice that we changed the way that we communicate based on the target audiences that we're speaking to directly. In-state, we have advertising in every DMA, and this is a program that I'm especially proud of that we just launched last month. Based on a partnership with the Florida Broadcasters Association, the Florida Cable Telecommunications Association, the Press Association, the Outdoor Advertising Association, to really jumpstart the economy and get our Floridians traveling in-state. As Chris mentioned, 13.3 million Floridians took vacations last year, but that was a small portion of all the vacations that they took. They took a lot of vacations elsewhere, and we're going to try to keep that money in the state. And it's a great partnership with the Florida Lottery. If you go to the Florida Lottery's homepage, they have a banner advertisement of our great Florida getaways, great relationships with the parks, and also working with AAA Auto Club South. But I'd like to show you the television spot that has started running last month and will continue to run through the end of this fiscal year, end of June.
That incredible getaway you've been dreaming of is right around the corner. So log on and discover what a value vacationing right here in the Sunshine State can be.
You'll notice that the advertising carries the same theme, the same feel, the same branding message, but we're changing it as we go through. You'll see how we change some of that to adapt to speak directly to our the target audiences that we're trying to talk to. Out-of-state markets is critical. This is where the lion's share of our visitors come from. We have visitors, again, from every state in the country, primarily focused on 26 top DMA markets. In this last year, we do that with a tremendous amount of co-op advertising. We're working hard, and this is where a fundamental belief that we have at Visit Florida, that if it's worth doing right, and it's going to be an integrated campaign, that every single opportunity allows partners in our industry to participate. And I haven't provided this with you, but I should. This is our 2008-2009 cooperative advertising menu, and it represents over 440 opportunities our industry members participate. And a lot of this is going into the out-of-state markets. I'm going to show you a couple of examples of how we are able to leverage our budget, provide that catalyst for our industry partners to leverage what Visit Florida is doing and leverage our brand. Second to that, I wanted to go again in two examples of showing you how we modify that first Sunshine State commercial to talk to two specific target audiences.